Hey there, sorry for the late upload. I should have uploaded this video a month ago, but better late than never. Also, if you want to get the best ModPack or collection out of this video, watch this next 30 seconds. I'll show you exactly how I do it. First, you want to grab a drink. Coffee, tea, whatever works for you. I'll grab coffee. After that, find a paper sheet or a document on your phone to register the mods that interest you in this video. Identify your mod loader and then save the mods that are compatible with it. Register the mods based on their categories: structural mods, bosses mods, game mechanics, etc. In addition, and this is optional, try watching the mods section till the end. I usually speak about certain bugs and incompatibilities, so to avoid any surprises, I'd recommend doing so. Finally, try and check the past 2 episodes. Do the same things for those 2 to maximize and enlarge your ModPack. Now, enjoy your own creation, my friend. Starting the list with perhaps one of the most detailed and unusual RPG mods I've seen in a while. LOTR Mobs is a medieval fantasy mod that adds giant and obscure creatures to Minecraft. Some of these creatures are kind and can even be ridden, while others are purely evil and hostile. The suspense in the mod keeps building, with hats hidden in the woods and festivals you may come across. This mod isn't stable at the moment, and I'm not sure if it will be in the future, but if it intrigues you, don't shy away from giving it a try. Rogan Warriors is a new member of the RPG series of mods, and now it's a member of the RPG series of videos. The mod added a few exclusive armors. As usual, the quality of these wearables is respectable, having 3D models and beautifully portraying their origins. Weapons here are diversified into different classes. There are daggers, large axes, scythes and more. All of said weapons are compatible with the Better Combat mod, having swinging and slashing animations along with special reach and range of attacks. Both armors and weapons in this mod serves as an actual game-changing mechanic, giving you special attacks that may be suitable for stealth assassins, brute force, so on and so forth. This mod adds a Chinese structure inaccessible to your feet. You will need to fly your way up here. From the inside, this place is skillfully decorated, having a couple of beds, lecterns, armor sets and a chest or 2. The Chinese island is much like an iceberg, having real and deep stuff beneath it. Climb your way down here and massage your eyes with the beautiful yet wild design of this basement. The Chinese flying island is truly a place worth discovering, and who knows, probably worth moving into. Next up we have I Hate Flesh Reborn. This mod will make sleeping not so peaceful, with an occasional and unpleasant chance of having a nightmare. And believe me, when I say this place is a nightmare, I mean it. The whole dimension is pitch dark, and you won't see any monsters until they are right beside you. And a piece of advice, never mind blocks that have teeth and eyes, just a small tip. The parasites, insects or whatever you'd call them can fly, crawl, release explosions and do a number of other horrible things to you. The chances of falling into a nightmare are quite slim, but they are enough to traumatize you from ever putting your head on a pillow. The Pillager Legion adds a bunch of structures guarded by pillager-like creatures. These fortified structures can be found in the desert, badlands, and the nether. My FPS was butchered as I got closer to some of these buildings, so I had to remove my shaders in some scenes. Nonetheless, the mod is wonderful for our RPG purpose, adding unnatural stuff to Minecraft like decorational sandy blocks, odd pillagers with new armors and weapons, as well as mutated tree block stall species. I wouldn't recommend the mod right now, as the performance can be a deal breaker, but try it and see the difference for yourself. I admit, I hate taxes, but I love taxes mods. One of them is especially great. It's called Tax Tree Giant. The mod offers certain types of trees so giant you would notice them from hundreds of blocks away. As you get closer to some of these trees, clear shadow oddities can be spotted. I hope that the author looks into that. Regardless, these trees can be a gold mine for builders, with massive roots sprouting out, small lakes with lily pads, and boulders scattered around, all forming a mini garden. The upper part of the tree is the most exciting yet, as it is composed of multiple deep branches, making it perfect for building a treehouse. This mod is self-explanatory, as it is an end edition of the original medieval buildings mod. My personal take on the mod is a bit conflicted. I love some of these structures, including the fort and the ship, but others just feel out of sync with the end. I am a big believer in structures indicating their surroundings. And talking about building blocks, this mod did it perfectly. But for the general design, I feel that it could have been better. The author of this mod, Mongoose, sure enjoys a vivid and extensive imagination, having developed other great mods such as Born in Chaos. I can sense simplicity in this mod. The settlements and the habitats of these structures are not overly detailed, yet they are extremely coherent with the world around them. Of course, I wouldn't say that this mod feels like it was added by Mojang, that'd be silly. But having watched my RPG series, you know for a fact that we do not care much about vanilla-friendly mods in this sequence. Gnumus Settlement is a creatively challenging mod, diversifying your voyages with new goblin-like communities you can raid and loot. The rewards are worth it, believe me, as you will be given a dynamic, good-looking rifle, a helmet, and a massive axe too. Enchanting Tree gives you more control over your enchantments and the level of those enchantments. This is an incredibly valuable mod. Being able to pick and choose enchantments is great, but being able to level them up and design your perfect weapon or tool is a feature that every RPG player has dreamt of. This mod is new, but I would not call it underrated. With such a feature, it will gain popularity very quickly. Loot Journal documents every item picked up. On your right, you can see every item you just received. This is a good way to organize your loot. As an RPG player, raiding and ravaging is a daily habit, but at times, knowing what entered your inventory can be enlightening, allowing you to discard the garbage and keep the valuables. Improvable Skills mod adds a new book you can use to track certain skills, all of which are upgradable and give the player specific buffs. You may be a lumberjack, in which case increasing the cunning skill will come in handy, or more likely a warrior. If so, the attacking speed and damage skills will be worth upgrading. As I said earlier, all of these skills are upgradable, not through a puzzling progression system, but by using your experience points. The same points you receive for killing mobs and mining ores. This is a decent lightweight RPG mod, something you want to consider if you are not into the nitty-gritty stuff of studying mods. After that, we have Fallen Adventures, mainly a cosmetic mod featuring a few skeletal corpses. The corpses resemble people who've died in certain ways. After a while, their bodies naturally decompose, leaving only their bones for historians to explore. Diversifying the content around your world can make for a decent RPG adventure, so this mod is a considerable option. Better Mob Combat will transmit the features from Better Combat mod to mobs with melee weapons. Be careful when installing the mod, as Vindicators will not only look good hitting you, but they will also gain advantages from the mod such as wide reach, hitting through grass, and more. Better Mob Combat is also compatible with other mods like Guard Villagers, but I noticed obvious visual bugs when using fresh animations, so be on the lookout for that. As a big fan of the Red Dead Redemption 2 game, I have always been fascinated by the music. So the Reactive music mod gave me exactly what I wanted in Minecraft. This mod features an interactive music system integrated into the game. The medieval music here gracefully increases in volume, runs for a while, and then fades out. The transition between songs is seamless, but I wish that the author had made it so that music could change based on the situation. Subtle in calm moments and intense during tough battles, just like in the Witcher 3 game. This mod will add an extra level of difficulty to the desert pyramids. With ancient sands, there will be an additional temple below the desert temple. This structure is filled with skeleton-like creatures that appear one after the other thanks to the numerous spawners around. I couldn't find any loot in this place, so either the author forgot to implement it or I missed it. Rep's Fallout is a slighter creation of the famous title, Fallout. The mod offers new biomes, each with a different, seemingly toxic atmosphere, indicating a nuclear breakout. The mod includes some of the prettiest armors I've ever seen. These armors can be used to withstand the toxic air and provide effective protection against the mutant creatures that reside here. I have not played the original game, but I have a feeling that the author managed to portray the events, mobs, and structures accurately. If you have played the game, however, let me know your thoughts. LootR is a mod that I'll never delete from my multiplayer world. It ensures that each player gets their own share from the loot chest, Of course, the loot will not be the same for each player, but it will be of the same rarity. This mod will help prevent wars, as players will no longer have to worry about others stealing their loot. SlashBlade Resharped adds highly detailed katanas. Just to clear any confusion, the armors here were added by another mod called Epic Samurais. These katanas don't function like normal weapons. You can use them by clicking the right button on your mouse, and their animation and sound quality is just top notch. What I've enjoyed the most about this mod is obviously the unstoppable force of the katanas. The moment you wield one of these weapons, any enemy surrounding you will be slashed. SlashBlade is only specialized in katanas, but this mod will be a perfect addition to simulate a samurai era modpack. In the middle of the woods is a village full of ducks. This place houses ducks of all kinds: big, small, strong, weak, archers, sword warriors, and so on. These ducks, just like real-life ducks, are quite territorial. They will wage war the moment they realize you're not one of them. The duck civilization keeps expanding, led by a powerful robotic duck named the Quackening. The battle music is quite intense, and the Quackening's main form of offense includes hatching explosive ducks and slamming its metallic butt on the ground. The Quackening is a very interesting mod, and I'm not sure I've read a book or watched a movie with a similar concept, so shout out to the author for being very creative. I usually use the biome weather particles to get TumbleWeed effects on desert biomes during a thunderstorm. TumbleWeed will give you this specific feature without the need for a desert storm and with additional loot too. I added the mod on the list since it puts me under the impression that I'm playing a Wild West game, which could be labeled as an RPG kind of feel. Correct me if I'm wrong. This mod adds diving equipment to Minecraft. Once you put on the Scuba Gear, you can swim very deeply in the ocean without worrying about any underwater limitations. The Scuba suit allows you to mine underwater at normal speed, walk as if it's land, and breathe freely with no limits. Following that, we have Profundis, a world generation mod that adds 7 new cave biomes to Minecraft. The mod stands out by cleverly mixing vanilla blocks in a way that makes the cave look completely different without adding any new blocks, or even mixing in irrelevant blocks like some other mods do. Things like mushrooms are very suitable for the caves, as they require high humidity without the need for sunlight. The same applies to the Arctic blocks too. Apart from that, they look magnificent and are very enjoyable to explore. The Witcher 3 and many other RPG games have this bloodstain effect whenever you slash an enemy. Beam blood particles won't necessarily include a highly realistic bloodstain, but one that is sufficient and adapts to the bleeding mob. You may deem the mod trivial, but as you slash several mobs at once, the amount of blood can look brutal, and quickly enough, the whole place will be smeared. Whether this is a good or a bad thing depends on your PC and personal preference. I used to think this mod is silly, but once I installed it and gave it the trial it deserves, I loved it almost immediately, and that's not me advertising it. Dungeons Content is a mod that has been adding features and mobs from Minecraft Dungeons since 2020. After installing the mod, you will encounter villages unlike any others. They are built with highly detailed materials, not so detailed that they would ruin the Minecraft experience, but enough to give them a very magical appearance. Deeper in the Orange Forest, you will commonly come across outposts where the residents are quite similar to Minecraft pillagers. These outposts are immersive, with a good mix of decorative and functional blocks scattered around. To handle the strength and unpredictable nature of these mobs, it's best to equip yourself with staffs, fortified armors, and various weapons from the mod. This mod is quite amazing. Besides, it's inspired by a classic. It's one of the projects that transformed the game almost entirely, something an RPG fan might be interested in. Hybrid Aquatic is an animal mod that adds a plethora of marine life to the game. Once installed, this mod will flood your oceans with aquatic mobs ranging in size, preferences, and behaviors. Just to name a few, there are tuna, which, as one would expect, are good for nutrition, along with sharks, whose nutrition is yourself. And finally, there are beautiful flashy fish like the lionfish. This mod contains a decent collection of fish, and over time I anticipate the addition of even more creatures like the blue whales, krakens, and more. On the surface, this looks like an abandoned village, seemingly safe to walk through. However, it's quite the opposite. The village is empty because the original residents have been devoured by cannibals. Your task is to enter this place and give these gruesome murderers a taste of their own medicine. Using a chainsaw, you can inflict continuous damage and ultimately eliminate any mob here. Cannibal Conundrum will serve a both exciting and unpleasant place to encounter. Players interested in occultism will enjoy this mod, as it adds a bunch of blocks, items and mobs related to said rituals. Hybrid humanoid creatures are to be expected. These servants of the devils, or the devils themselves, are the results of certain rituals. They may vary in colors, shape, weaponry, and destructive abilities too. These brief examples that I've just shown you only scratch the surface. I recommend installing the mod and playing around with it, see what you come up with. The Monster Hunter camp is a place you should be thrilled if you come across, for it holds a villager that will make use of the remains of the monsters you've previously slain, along with giving you special monster traps that can be useful in battle. Caverns and Chasms mod overhauls Minecraft cave system. There will be new ore types to obtain, coupled with a dangerous new kind of stone that is quite fragile. Among several deadly creatures residing here, there are shapeshifters. At first they might seem like normal mobs, but the moment they touch you, they will absorb your every item and armor. This mod is sadly not updated to 1.20.1, but I heard that this part is on its way though, given the 1.20 version is already available for patrons of Team Up Normals. This mod adds a couple of behemoths and night crawlers in Minecraft. The mod serves as both a mobs mod and a world generation mod, adding a collection of various biomes besides developing some odd creatures too. Honestly, once you install the mod, you will spend most of your time exploring these biomes, as they are truly magnificent and mysterious. Killing powerful bosses can grant weapons, armors, and helpful magical artifacts. I have to give it to the creator. The equipment is coherent, high quality, and varies in shape and color based on the monster you've slain. When it comes to horror, this mod is all you need for a simulation of an absolute nightmare. The Box of Horror mod introduces a number of notorious freaks of nature, like the Xenomorph and the tall, air-shattering Siren, alongside plenty of others. I use Spookluminary and Insanity shaders throughout the clips. You'll be missing out on a lot if you are using vanilla or common shaders. Earlier in our RPG series, we included the Ice and Fire mod, but the dragons in that mod were quite rare and practically impossible to track. The Dragon Seeker mod introduces a beeping device that tracks dragons. This method isn't crystal clear, as you will need to be attentive to the beeping and ensure you don't exhaust or even destroy the Dragon Seeker's stuff. Other than that, this is a life-saving add-on that you should always have installed alongside the Ice and Fire mod. This is yet another add-on for a famous mod. This time around, it's for the Combat Roll mod. Here you will move from evading attacks to bashing into enemies, inflicting minimal damage but knocking them back. Just like the Dragon Seeker add-on, Combat Bash will become your go-to option when installing the Combat Roll mod, as you will be able to maneuver damage while at the same time pushing enemies away, just enough for you to strike back or flee. Cardiac is a simple mod that will give you a small amount of hearts as you slay a mob. The amount of hearts given can mean a second chance at life in certain situations. I have not seen a lot of RPG mods with such a feature, but it's good to innovate sometimes. Farsighted Mobs mod makes it so that hostile mobs can see you from afar. I don't have the exact number of blocks they can see you from, but I can say it's a lot. This mod is especially deadly with mobs like skeletons, not to mention creepers who will see you from a distance and slowly creep up on you. MCA Reborn simulates the Sims game, an absolutely enjoyable RPG title. Just like in the mentioned game, Minecraft Comes Alive provides you with different types of villagers. Your mission here is to understand them and direct their moods and motives. I don't know if these mobs have AI, but their reactions are quite realistic. They'll often be irritated if you become intrusive and flattered if you give them a gift or a compliment. I can't believe I'm saying this, but this mod is perhaps the only one in the universe that will actually help you with real-life interactions, teaching you when to talk and when to keep quiet. Max's Armory is another Japanese-based mod, including few new armors and weapons related to the history of said country. Opposite to our previously mentioned SlashBlade, Max's Armory is enmeshed with vanilla Minecraft. The weapons here are compatible with the Better Combat mod, and the armors are not very detailed, yet look decent. Overall, this is a pretty solid mod. This mod will add a massive beehive that you will commonly come across. The appearance of the beehive hints a fantasy-like game, which is exactly what we're after here. Of course, the beehive isn't big for no reason, as it is home for the queen bee. This is a giant insect that regulates the entire beehive. I haven't tested the queen in battle myself since I was afraid, but I trust your courage, my friend. Lookin Sharp adds a new smithing workbench to the game. To this anvil you can forge a variety of new weapons. Each of these weapons is compatible with the Better Combat mod and features special animations while you're holding them. These weapons are not magical, they won't set mobs on fire or make them float. However, they do come with varying attacking speeds and damage, all the while looking sharp, exactly as the name suggests. Hedge indicator will show you from which direction you're being attacked. I've seen this feature in games like Valorant, which isn't an RPG, but with all the mods you've added, this one will fit right in. As I promised earlier, the day this series ends, which is just 4 months from today, I will be compiling a ModPack featuring not all of these mods of course, but the most prominent of which. If you are not into RPG mods, instead Vanilla Plus mods, then you would like my 200 Vanilla Plus mod series. It will also have the same deal as it finishes around the same time. Now I'll see ya in the next one, my friend.